lost. We fucking super lost, man. Tell them, McCluskey. Tell them what time it is.
It's no clickbait. We lost. I'll tell you guys a little brief history of what happened before the KVK, during the KVK, how it all ended. So let's start off with before the actual KVK. So 2755, last KVK won a pretty big KVK, which they were not supposed to win against 1429 and 2268. Well, they weren't supposed to win because, the matchup and it's the first season conquest, but we did. Fast forward, we are Imperium, and in this KVK, we registered on the second registration, and we wanted to get to the matchup where we would on purpose get a hard one, so we can drop as much power as we can to drop Imperium and get some new people in. And I saw some misconceptions about how this diplomacy went in Facebook groups and whatnot, but the whole purpose was to get a really hard matchup, drop power, and but still get a decent chance of winning the KVK. So that's what we went in with our allies, which were on the diagonal corner of the map. So 1077, and I don't remember the other kingdom if I'm honest. No disrespect, but I don't pay much attention to allies in KVKs because if you rely on your allies, then you're just not having a good time. So fast forward, we were comfortably number one in the PKVK and during the RCF rebuild, and the momentum was there. Okay, the momentum was surely there, and in the first zone, the opponents were instructed not to really fight, and the first zone was another farming zone. But then the next zone opened, and a lot of time was spent in this area right here. So it's a pass 6, and people really went in just to, field fight and get a sense of the fighting. It was the first fighting in the KVK, and I think people got a little bit too ahead of themselves. And as you can see, this terrain is rough, and burning a fort takes fucking forever. Let's be honest. So we'll get in, murder ball, and the only way to get deads is to swarm the fort along the rally. And they didn't really rally our pass, so we didn't really get a chance to drop power in this zone. And this continued for like a couple days, and to me, it didn't make too much sense, but people were too eager to fight. And then the pass 7 opens, and this was confusing as a one kingdom, and we had 4 passes to pay attention to, which is something I've my first experience with this, and it was confusing. And they didn't really, well, when I was online, I can't say for all the day when I wasn't online, but they didn't really rally that much of us either. And when they did, there was one big rally which lasted a while, but I wasn't online for that. But it was a period where we did drop some power, and I think by the time you reached the Kingsland, we were obviously alone. Allies were still locked in their zones, and I always believed 2755's biggest strength was the open field number, and by the time I reached Kingsland, it was like too many people that were really the backbone were too drained to actually, you know, bring that momentum back. And I gotta say, a lot of people just didn't show up. A lot of people did not show up. Now, personally, I'm not satisfied with my own performance in this KVK, but that is due to the timing. This time of the year is where my friends and family come and visit, so I prioritize them over the game, which is absolutely ridiculous by some weird, Rise of Kingdom standards, but I have no regrets on personal level, but it is regrettable. I think this KVK was a make or break for 2755. If we manage to win and drop out of Imperium, I think that would be I think this kingdom will be one of the most desirable places to be, but in the end we lost and we're still Imperium. If you look at our map here, which is honestly very disappointing. I think everything that could everything that could go wrong went wrong, and a lot of people will definitely leave, I think. And there have been some things going on, probably internal struggles, which I don't know the details of, but it's definitely affected the whole kingdom. And comparing it to the last KVK, which we battled and had more fun, but that is also due how this map works as well. I'll make a specific video about how I never wanna play this KVK map again. It's just very boring, but maybe that is due to our matchup. But then again, it shouldn't be again to our matchup because we went pretty much against 8 kingdoms. But the way the terrain works and the way fort drops work, and trust me, we tried like 3 or 4 fort drops in these zones, but the only way you can drop a fort is near a structure, so like near a circle, a pass, a Heron, sanctuary. And defending those, if you're on the defending side, you are way more at an advantage than the offensive because if you're alerted to someone like here, example, you can teleport here and just continue to refresh your marches and slowly delete the ball from the opponent. The only way we could transport is a slow march or do some barbarian forts to get there. Now, the barbarian forts could take 5, 10, 15 minutes depending on the distance and the troop type, but overall, if the defending kingdom has a decent presence, they can easily wipe that out. I think our closest to completion fort was like an hour and 15 minutes away, and after that drop, I think the morale dropped as well. And in Kingsland, I think we held out more than I expected. I think we held out for a day, and considering we were up against, I don't know how many kingdoms, maybe like 4, and we were reaching the actual building, and but it was not sustainable really to stay. Now, obviously, we're getting our territory taken, and it's gonna be a disappointing KVK. Personally, this is my worst KVK in a while. My debts, I haven't reached my requirements. I think I missed out like 100K, but it is what it is. I'll delete them. And as for my kills, I got 11 million. But if you saw my resources, I think I probably overperformed in terms of that. But my honor and everything else, I've not been up to par. And I'm just gonna do any tech I can to get as many coins as I can and get a inscription from the shop and probably call it a day. As you can see, I'm still doing these for the extra coins, and I don't think I'll do much else. We still have another Karak to go after this chronicle, and yeah, I think I think that 2755 has been an unfortunate chain of events, and I think the intentions were good with this KVK, but the map and the execution clearly didn't go as planned. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe, join our Discord, and I will see you in the next one.